he does have the passion. He doesn't want municipal level because he wants to help all the mayors all over the island to empower them with the tools that they need. But we need somebody in the legislature to do that for us. And my son, Jon Savares.
It's been said that's the first time she's campaigned for me all season because I told her I'm gonna work hard. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for being here. Auntie Mary Okada, my mom's classmate from ND, I grew up with her. Such a wonderful, wonderful person. A heart to serve the community. Speaker Frank Boss, every time I've called him, he's been there not just for policy stuff that we've done, but mentorship on this campaign trail. And I really appreciate the Republican Party for doing that for every single candidate. Because I know how it feels to not have that mentorship on the trail. And that's why when I look at what I want to do for us, it's 3 principles, not 3 things, not 3 ideologies. It's our communities, our family, and our health. Because at the community level, our mayors are absolutely right. They need the support. I know what it takes to fix a pothole, pick up a dead dog, deal with the abandoned vehicles. When you ask me what our mayors need, it's because I know what's there, because I've been on the ground since I was umpting. And that's the reality that I face. When I look at our families, our parks need places to be. Our parks are in despair. It's not safe, not clean. My daughter plays basketball. And I have to chase drunk people out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it's not safe for the kids I coach. That's problematic for every single person. Our families don't have places to be that are safe for our safe and conducive environment. And lastly, our healthcare. Our healthcare is, we are chasing reactive healthcare with the hospital issue. And Auntie Mary has spoken about this. My mom is a champion of our community health centers, and at the legislative level, that's what we are going to need to do, because we need to get a healthier community. That is the reality. Bring healthcare into the community level so we can get people better access. Instead of, I'm so sorry. But I am Jon Savares, number 3 on the Republican side of the ballot, and I humbly ask for one of your votes.